Michael. How are you?
How are you?
Doing great. So to start, one of my favorite things about this show is how niche it is at certain points. Because I flipped out because they had cookout cups, and I went to App State, which is why I have an App State shirt on. When you were writing this, how fun was it for you to get to like pinpoint things that people from those regions that they're going to these games would like see and be like, oh, I went to school there. That's so cool that that's included.
It was a blast. I went to UGA. I actually remember my sophomore year, App State beat Michigan, and I remember everybody losing their mind on campus while we were tailgating for the Georgia game there. It was great, and it's like I love doing stuff. I feel like most of the stuff I make, if I can, I set it in the South, and I try and like make it true to that region of the world. And so, yeah, down to the cookout cups and everything, or the cane sauce and all that. So I love that stuff, and I think that people, who are college football fans in the South, it's nice for them to see themselves and the world that they live in sort of shown on TV in a real way.
And I want to ask everyone this question. I love that we get to see Danny just like in that house belting Phantom of the Opera, and then it's called back later in that same episode because I'm a musical theater girl. I'm like, yeah, I would belt some weird musical. That's not weird, but you know what I mean? So I wanted to know if you had the house to yourself and you're like, I just have to sit and I want to listen to this one song, musical theater or not, what is that song that you would sing like Danny does?
Maybe It's All Coming Back to Me Now, Celine.
It's my karaoke song, so I get it.
Yeah, I think that might be the one. It's not going to sound good, but if nobody's around, that's the go-to.
When I love when Eli Manning goes on side quests. Like he just decided he was an umpire the other day, and I was like, Sure, dude, why not? When you get to bring this to the world and you're kind of marrying both the people who know Eli Manning and know that he did this, and also like comedy fans or like Glen Powell fans or whoever else is watching it, what for you is the kind of sweet spot of marrying those two worlds together in a show like Chad Powers?
Well, I think it's getting the football right. It's college football fans are savage. I search the show on Twitter, on Reddit. I know what this fan base thinks of things, and everybody's skeptical. Are they going to get it right? Are they going to, what is this? This is a show based on a kind of a silly sketch. And so I get excited about that, no, we're going to do this the right way. It's going to be authentic to the world. And then on the comedy side, let's make it funny. Let's make it funnier and weirder than anybody expects it to be. I want everything about the show to be unexpected and surprising, and hopefully that's how it feels when you're watching it.
Oh, it 100% does. And I also love, like, I'm a big comedy nerd. My cat's named after, like, one half of my favorite comedy couple. Like, I love that there is also a romance in this.
Which
his name's Benjamin Wyatt, the cat, so I call him Benji, but he's Ben Wyatt. But I love that this show has that, too, because it is a football show, but you also have those kind of, like, comedy show elements that people who love comedies are going to kind of turn in for. How does it feel to write for a couple like that with the hopes that like someday people will be like, oh, out of all of the comedy couples, this is in my top 4 or whatever it is?
Well, I mean, I certainly hope that we can get there, and we have amazing comedy writers on our show. My co-showrunner Love Roque is, he's a legend. He came up on New Girl and Dave, and wrote on so many great things. And so I was surrounded, and Tony Yacinda, who directed our pilot and a bunch of episodes, co-created American Vandal. Mm-hmm. So the show is just surrounded by brilliant comedic minds. And that made it easier for me to just say, all right, let's make it as crazy as we possibly can.
I also love that a central theme is, Russ constantly says that Chad is like everything he's not, and like a better man, even though like Russ is still doing the actions that Chad is doing. When you guys were working on figuring out the difference between Russ and Chad as characters, what was it like collaborating on Russ's own insecurities mixed in with like what he put into Chad as a character for him?
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I guess it was Russ in playing Chad Russ got to be vulnerable and honest. He gets to be vulnerable and honest in a way that he feels like he can't. He feels like his own face is toxic. And so it's only by putting on the Chad mask and that voice that he can be a good leader, and he can be a good friend, and later on in the show he can, take accountability for things in a way that for whatever reason he can't as his true self. And that's the fun, like, depth to the show that maybe you'd never expect from the show based on this sketch. We really like that.
100%. I love the show so much. I watched it so fast, and I can't wait to like now go back and pace myself. But thank you for talking with me today. I really
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it.
It's great to finally meet you.
Of course, it's nice meeting you.
Yeah.